today's Ways and Means Committee meeting for Tuesday, April 27, 2021 to order. Would everyone please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America.
Okay. Carrie Ann, roll call, please.
Nagnestakis?
Present.
Benelli?
Present.
Sutherland?
Here.
Hines?
Here.
Kulisek?
Here.
Paduk?
Here.
Menuda? Benton?
Here. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, all but one present. Other legislators, I see our legislators Cheney and Vero. Welcome. I don't know if there's any others. Oh, Mr. Fagione is incognito listening. Welcome, Tom. Okay, first up, Alicia D'Amico, Deputy Commissioner of General Services and Procurement and Compliance. A is request supplemental appropriation to create a capital project for ongoing technology updates. This is proposed capital project number 72 in the 2021 capital plan. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created. It's in the amount of $4,507,658 to come from bonding. Can I get a motion in a second, please?
Sutherland.
Second. I'll second. Alicia?
Yes,
Hi.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you?
Very good.
Okay. So thank you, Chairman. Yes, we are here today to request the supplemental appropriation as listed. And I'd like to just remind everybody that the funds that were allocated and presented and approved last year, I just want to give you a high level. For the network infrastructure was $432,78. The application upgrades and enhancement projects was $1,292,573. The client services desktop projects was $468,600. And the strategic planning and architectural design was $314,407, which is a total of $4,507,658 as approved. So just on a high level, I want to share that the funds that were allocated and presented and approved last year, what was beneficial for us is when we got that in May 2020, we had the foresight at that moment to carry a lot of that over into this year, and thank God that we did due to COVID. The ask is just keeping pace with what's necessary for us to be able to maintain operations. And so, you know, although it looks like it's a big nut, it's truly, we look at everything. We're very conservative about it. We're very cognizant of the financial times that we're in and the constraints, and of obviously for everyone, always aware of the taxpayer dollars on this. Understand that any projects that we look at, we are always doing a cost analysis ongoing with every project that we take on. And we only work on projects that are truly critical to our operations. And that's what you have in front of you. And that's what we're asking for today. Well, it's already approved. So thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And again, obviously this is a extreme concern for our technology for keeping current and upgrades with software and technology, as well as cybersecurity. And obviously it does go through Capital Committee every year, and that's always tough, and things get itemized and also, segmented and delayed to some respect sometimes.
Yes, understood. And, there's so many different things. There's so many things we want to share. I'd love to be able to do that on a separate meeting to give everybody an update to go over, because so much has changed. And with technology going forward post-COVID, just like you talk about unfunded mandates, well, it's going to be the same thing coming down the pike here for cybersecurity. And so that's a reality that we're all facing, and everybody's going to be feeling it very shortly, as we continue to go down this path. But again, I'll save those conversations if you want to invite me in so we can give you a full details on all that as we go forward. But I'm open to any questions if anybody has anything specific.
Well, also, if you would like to go in detail with any particular segment of this, feel free to do that. You wanted to give another presentation. You sent something to Carrie Ann, but I didn't want to add that to the agenda today because I thought we would, maybe go into some detail, or people would have detailed questions about some of these numbers. If you think there's something that you should add and qualify in these numbers, feel free.
Well, the only other thing that we would have that we didn't have already in there, this is all a continuation of what we've done through 2020 with the upgrades, the servers, a lot of the stuff for the unplanned projects that we had in 2020. It was really with an eye, everything we looked at, even though we put it forward, was still with an eye with the capital projects and what we were doing that the county would use going forward. So although they were unplanned projects, there's still stuff that we're working on going forward with the upgrades of servers and the patches and the storage, and that's stuff that you see year to year, but we're already doing that. One of the big things that we have that's going to be coming down that we were planning on doing it this year at some point, but it actually ended up being accelerated, was cybersecurity. Post-COVID, for us to stay compliant with our cyber liability insurance and stuff, all the sophisticated threats that have been coming down, I'm sorry, is that my computer? Yes. Has made it that we have to put in a multi-factor authentication into the county going forward here. And so we were planning on doing that, doing it later, much later in the year, but it's something now that's been accelerated. We are actually looking at vendors and proposals now, and the county is going to feel this because this is going to be a major change in how we operate. And it's the first of many different compliance issues that are going to be coming down with cybersecurity for technology. So although we have it as a placeholder in our capital plan, based on our testing and the assessments and some things that we're doing, we're going to have to pivot again as needed. And it's not going to be by choice. It's something that we're going to be required to do, mandated, and to maintain compliance.
Yeah, well, cybersecurity is something you can't delay because the crooks out there sitting on their couch in their basement playing all day have nothing to do but hunt and peck and, hunt for gaps. So.
Absolutely. And this remote workforce, what we had in place and the things that happened has just escalated all of that. It's put people in very vulnerable positions. You should be proud and happy to know that the county has done an incredible job with locking it down and keeping us where we need to be. But still, we have some stuff we're going to be testing to see our own vulnerabilities and our penetration through a penetration testing coming up shortly. And that will tell us a lot.
Okay. Okay, so I should have gotten a motion in a second. Or I'm sorry, I did that already. Questions from committee members or others listening? Please raise your hand. Ms. Benelli?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Alicia, it's great to see you.
Same here,
And
yes.
thank you for all the hard work you've been doing. You've mentioned a number of times as far as the cybersecurity is concerned that we're going to feel it.
Yes.
How are we going to feel it? Are we going to feel it just financially, or is there an overall in the way we've been doing business, or have we been graduating into a new way of doing business? What is actually going to be happening other than
Thank you.
the price tags
Thank
we're
you.
looking at?
Yeah, excellent question. And all of the above. So again, I don't know financially. That's some of the stuff that when we work through it this year and we go through our assessment, what we're going to be looking at. But let me give you specifically with the MFA that's coming in right now that we're looking at.
The what? Hold
We
on.
could have made, go ahead.
You said the what?
I'm sorry, the multi-factor authentication that needs to be
Thank
put
you.
in place countywide. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, I should know better than that to
Yeah,
use
we
the
don't talk
acronym.
your lingo every day like you do.
Not a problem. Thank you for clarifying that. So there's a whole bunch of stuff rolled up into that. So let's just say we need to be compliant. And so we're looking at this. It's timely. We need to put it in place. We have a vendor that we're working with right now that we can make that happen. And if we took that, we would have to give out 2,200 key fobs, which all of you will be affected as well. And that means that you will physically always have to have that with you in order to log in to your laptop or your device when you come in to the county. It's not an option anymore. It definitely is a change of how we work and how we operate. So in order to even just start operations, you're going to have to either use a key fob, but when we sit down and with IT, and these are the hidden things that nobody, and we have to do a better job about sharing this. But when the IT staff sits around and management and the commissioner, and we talk about this, we have a lot of things in place. There's systems, there's servers, there's things. We're trying to figure out a way through our Microsoft licensing, which you've already approved and we've put in place with servers and stuff. How can we do this internally with the team that we have? How is it that we can utilize the servers that we have? And with that, this is why we haven't made a decision yet. And we're really giving this a lot of thought as to how we do that. Not only is that a cost saving for all of us, but it may mean instead of getting an actual physical fob, that you would just do it like you do now when you go to Amazon and you try to get onto Amazon or you try to buy something, you got to do your 2-code authentication that it comes in either by your phone or you have it that comes to your email. It's the same way. So we're toying between the idea of how do we work with the physical key fobs or how do we do it with the soft tokens that would be online? It's a change across the county that they've never had before, but it's the way it's going to have to be. It's not a choice. So
That's a great
it is money.
example.
Yeah. Just trying to
Now,
make you
is
understand.
that,
Thank
is
you.
the money for that in this budget that you're presenting in this capital project this afternoon?
Yes. So the idea was what we did with the cybersecurity on that, right? That's where we pivoted. We've put a lot of things in place last year and knowing when we carried it over. So it is. Yes. Thank you for asking.
So this capital project that you were planning on way back a long time ago has been revamped to what are the needs today and moving forward
Correct.
within
That's
the
the one
same,
last
within
year.
the same bottom line dollar figure.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
That's exactly right.
Thanks
Yes.
so much. Appreciate it.
Sure. Sure.
Okay, so those key fobs, those are kind of like what your doctor has when you go to the doctor's office and they need to write a prescription, they email it
Yes.
and they have to have the key fob for the computer.
Correct. Correct.
Very similar.
Yes. But we're trying to take into account, every department operates differently, and that's part of it also. Even though we would love to go across the board that everybody that receives a phone call or gets it at the desk or an email, there are those that work that don't have a desk or a phone that they're able to access. So we may have to do a hybrid, and we're really trying to be cognizant of how this gets rolled out, for many reasons, cost-wise and just change. This is going to be a huge change. And I did say it's the first of many different requirements that are going to be coming down. Prior to the pandemic, you used to be able, it was a very gray area with cybersecurity. It's not gray anymore. It's either you do it or you don't.
Right, right, and you pay later.
Correct.
Mr. Fagione, you have your hand up.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Alicia. Just a quick question. You say these are requirements coming down. Is this who is setting the standards for these requirements? Is this state law? Is this federal law? Or is it county law?
No. Right now, what we're dealing with is cybersecurity liability insurance, just to be covered as a county.
So it's an insurance issue?
Right now it is, but yes.
So is risk management involved in these decision-making process at all?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, 'cause
Yes.
it's just, when I hear requirements right away, that the requirements are by the edict of law. And I would just be curious to see how that is involved in that. So I appreciate the comment. Thank you.
Of course.
Law may be one thing, but you still can't get caught with your computer pants down. That's for sure. Okay,
Yeah,
is there
we
any
can't
other
law.
questions from legislators? Mr. Kulisek.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I see that this $4.5 million is all serial bonds. Is there any grant money applied toward that? That is available coming down the pike anywhere? No.
Not for this, not for the 4.5 million, but do know that we do look at grant monies from wherever else that we can get it. And we work with the other departments, just like the BOE for the election cycle. They had massive cybersecurity requirements last year, and we worked with them for grant funding and stuff. We also work with EOC and Craig Cherry on Homeland grant security that's out there as well. So that's in addition to what we get for the Capitol.
So this is all taxpayer money.
Yes. And we are well aware of that. Yes.
And every year we can look at this $4.5 to $5 million.
For me, I know, I understand. Legislator Kulisek, the best way I can explain it to you is this, and I think I mentioned it the last time when I came in for the capital for the approval. I understand we got to look at things as a budget line, but when we talk about technology, I'm really, my argument is always that technology is an investment. Unfortunately, you don't see the invisible lines. DPW comes in, you see the pothole, you see the roadways, you're able to see the immediate fix. For you, when you come in and you touch that button to roll and to go, there's so much underneath there that it requires. This 4.5 million is not extra, it's not fluff. This is going to keep us just functioning at a baseline operational efficiency countywide. So even when we start to look at items that we want to be the leader going forward for Orange County and we want to be innovative and think of new things, we're trying to do that as we look at these projects. But this money that we're getting here, you know, I can't say. And with the cybersecurity, I don't want to set it up that we're coming in for a $2 million capital. I don't know. While we look at it this year, we're getting ready to put it in. It's probably going to be a couple of million a year as we try to navigate this new world. Technology is constantly changing, and to stay up to speed with it, it just requires the investment.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, and obviously very soon we'll be meeting again for 2022 capital plan. So
Correct.
again, everything is variable every year. Mr.
Right.
Vero, you have your hand up raised.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think all of us are aware of some of the blurbs that have been in the news the last few years, whether it's giant retail stores, banks, financial institutions. The insurance companies are pulling their hair out with the cyber liability issues. Because once they get hacked, once they get involved and compromised, they spend millions of dollars trying to correct it, notify their customers, their clients, and sensitive information is out there. It's almost to a point now where we've got a gun to our head. We need to invest in this technology just to stay even, just to stay ahead of the bad guys.
Absolutely.
True. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments, legislators or others listening?
Yes, Chairman Menuda.
Mr. Menuda, go ahead.
Thank you so much. I'm not sure if I missed it or not, but I'm going to raise the question. Typically, what I've experienced is when insurance companies are requiring certain items, by complying with that, there's normally a reduction. So is that in play here?
Absolutely. Most certainly. Yes.
All right, so we do have some sort of shaving of savings on this.
Oh, well,
expense.
and that is Dan Castricone from Risk who would handle that and does that. And yes, that's what he goes out for. He goes through a broker specifically to assess the field there. But once we're in compliance, that is a different, you know, we are in compliance, but these are the things that we have to do going forward. It makes a difference for the cost of the insurance. Yes.
At some point, I would like to, see what that cost differential is going forward, please.
Next month, we can have Mr. Castricone in to give a report on cyber insurance premiums.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Alicia.
You're welcome.
Of course.
Any other questions from legislators present or listening? Hearing none. All in favor as presented? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. Deb, are you there?
Thank you.
Yes, I am here.
Okay,
Couldn't
good.
get off mute.
Okay, so next we have a little report on the COVID expenses. Again, everyone should have received it. Again, it was very generic. It was like 3 lines. $4.5 million for aggregate services and commodities purchased. $112,500 for emergency services overtime. And then $21,900 for emergency services overtime for the vaccine pods. So I wanted to just have people know the numbers and any questions. I believe the basic handling of all of these numbers was by Deb and the county execs department. Harry, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Are there any questions? Obviously, I wasn't looking for an itemized line-by-line expense, but I was kind of maybe hoping some people would have some questions about how things were lump summed here or in the aggregate. Harry, did you want to give a little report?
Sure, I'll give you a little preamble.
again, this thing was foisted on us quite suddenly, and we did everything we could, not only to help our county employees, but also to help all of the different partners that we have throughout the county, including hospitals and nursing homes and facilities like that. So we provided what they call PPE, personal protective equipment, to a lot of people. That we bought a lot of that early on. Matter of fact, you approved for us the use of contingency monies, over $2 million, for those kinds of purchases. So I will tell you that everything was very much scrutinized. As a matter of fact, nothing is purchased until it goes through our office. And with a team like Debbie and Karen, I got to tell you, we were very cautious and frugal in our spending, but we didn't refrain from spending on what we needed.
Okay, thank you. Deb?
Let me just add that, some of the costs were probably more inflated during the summertime months, just because there were shortages of PPE and gloves and gowns. And at times we were really fighting out there to get a supply of them. So the cost was, inflated over what you would have expected. But that was due to the time.
Okay. Yes, we all listened to the reports every night on the news when we came home, for those of us who were working and those of us who were quarantined at home. Questions from legislators? Karen, comment?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to add one quick thing that although this is our aggregate total as we know right now, it will certainly get larger because we are not at the end of the pandemic and we're still tracking our spending, because this is the resource we'll be using to ask for FEMA reimbursement for those expenses, and it will be the part of what we justify the ARP funds with. So just wanted to make everybody aware of that. In addition, there are other departments that have incurred overtime, obviously, Valley View Health Department, the jail, and so on and so forth. Those numbers are not incorporated in here, not because they didn't occur, but just because they weren't provided in time to incorporate into this report. But there are other numbers out there, so this is not the full effect of the pandemic expense for Orange County.
Okay, thank you. Again, I didn't want to do this every month, but I thought it was about time, since we're maybe seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully it's not a new version or a new strain, but I thought it was time to get some sort of an update on how things had progressed. Any other questions or comments?
I have, Lee.
Oh, go ahead, Mike. I don't see your hand or face, but
my
go
hand's
ahead.
up. Okay. Listen, that was part of the question. You answered that in regard to other departments. However, on our agenda, it says 1B, but on the emails that I've had, I don't have a copy of what you read, Lee. I go from 1A to 2A. There is no 1B included here to show me what you explained.
1B was an email that was sent on Monday.
Okay, that's probably why. Then.
Yes, this was strictly to allow them to give enough time to total things up. I had Gene send out the notice that it was going to be included on the agenda, but the report was going to be sent on Monday night so that they had time to collect all the data and put it together. So you should have received just those three numbers and a separate email from Gene, from Alicia and Karen through Gene.
All right, so will we get a copy of those other numbers that weren't included, maybe by May, the middle of 6-month period of where we stand then? Of Valley View and all the other.
Oh, we can ask for further reports.
I think that's important. We know this, so when we get this $34 million, what we're actually going to do with it. That should be our decision, not just the county executives.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Now this was just a piece in time with the numbers as they've been totaled right now. That's all.
Right.
We haven't done it since last March, so I thought it was about time. That's all.
I agree. Thank you.
We will have updates. All right. Seeing no other hands, thank you. We will go on to 2A is a request to appropriate the previously accepted grant funding received from New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services for Orange County District Attorney's budget to capital funding. It's to be added to capital project number 71 in the 2021 proposed capital plan in conjunction with the emergency services funding to finance the law records data sharing project. The amount is in the amount of $1,685,928. Can I get a motion and second, please?
Sutherland.
Hines and Sutherland, thank you. Mr. Cherry, I see you're standing in.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. What we have here is just give a little bit of background quickly and a snapshot. In 2007, back when I first came here, we started a records management system countywide. It's called Impact. And it's been a very good program for its last, going on 14 years now. But over the years, like any other technology, things are developing and move forward a lot, especially in police records management. And for the 2021 budget, when we put in our wish list for capital projects, I put in funding for some money to sort of stopgap and fix some of the issues that we were having with data sharing across the law enforcement community here in Orange County. There's been two or three different takeovers of the company that we currently do business with. They've been bought up by conglomerates 2 or 3 times over, and the product has really lost a lot of its ability to give us the service we need. So we're looking for a way to come up with a better solution. And in the interim, District Attorney Hoover come up with an opportunity to get some money through the state and an initiative that went through the Manhattan DA's office to fund a lot of the new discovery issues that are going on statewide that district attorneys' offices and police agencies are having a problem with. So we sat down and Dave, after some thought, was looking at different products to help his office. Elected to look at the product that I was looking at. We were looking at statewide, and he agreed that this RMS vendor that we are going to go into contract with, hopefully, if this is all approved, is called Niche. It's a RMS company that we actually vetted back in 2007 when we got Impact. But now they just signed a contract with the New York State Police and the Suffolk County Police, and we are looking to develop this partnership. The fact that the state police are going to have the same product is going to certainly allow us to dovetail onto any technology they have, any of the enhancements they get, any of the interfaces they get. So to combine these two funding streams will allow us to do this. And just to give you a snapshot of the cost right now, countywide, all of our municipalities pay probably close to over $400,000 annually for RMS support. If we sign up for this, we will be able to cover the costs for all municipalities. So any of those costs that they have will go away. We believe that our Homeland Security funds will cover most of the costs of the reoccurring. And we will also work with we're already working with IT and Alicia through UTC Associates to use contract services that they currently have for the implementation. So I hope I didn't talk too much. So any questions?
That's okay. Just talk whatever you need to say.
Yep.
Okay, questions from legislators? Mr. Kulisek?
Yes, I'm saying that this is all state aid, correct? All state aid funded?
The A is, yes.
Okay,
The 1.6, yes.
that's great. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Mr. Kulisek, your hand is still up. Do you have anything else?
No, sorry.
Okay, that's all right. Just wanted to be sure.
And just to make one comment about the I guess I'll address that with the capital project. I'll wait till the capital project, so.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Hines.
Yeah, I just want to clarify that there will be a cost to the county. This 1.6 is this year's cost, and the district attorney has informed us that there's about another 1.4 million as part of this project, but that won't happen for another year or two. So it's not all in. There will be taxpayer funds here, and I know Craig's going to point out in B, that's going to be taxpayer funding that goes with this plan. But this is going to put everybody on the same page, the police agencies, the district attorney, and as part of the bail reform and the discovery issues, the district attorney's office is actually going to be able to grab this stuff right out of the police file, is what I'm told, so that they don't have to physically hand it over or electronically transfer it. They're going to be able to grab it. So this is a state-of-the-art stuff, and I know all the police chiefs are looking forward to it, as well as the district attorney's office. So I think it's a good project, and it's a cost well spent. And it's great that we got some grant funding towards it. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Any other comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, all in favor as presented? Aye.
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 Opposed? Carried.
Aye.
Thank you. B is a request to accept and appropriate the proposed 2021 capital project number 71 for $750,000 to finance law records data sharing project. Come from bonding. Motion in a second, please.
Kulisek.
Kulisek.
Hines.
Second, Hines. Craig?
Yes, we obviously need more than the 1.6 to accomplish our goals. We are going to be using a vendor-supplied service through IT to do a lot of the infrastructure work, the server work. We have to install all new hardware, set up new infrastructure networks. There's a lot of work, even after buying the software that we have to do. So we have to make sure we have enough money to make sure that all of that background IT support, project management, and all those different spokes we're able to bring into the project and make sure we get it done. Also, just want to add too, this not only will it help the district attorney's office, it's also going to help our Department of Probation. Currently, right now, our probation department does not have access to our police records. This will allow them to have access to our police records. So we're getting 3 departments that are going to have benefit of this. Of course, the police agencies, the district attorney's office, the sheriff's office, and probation. So there's a lot of end value here. So this additional $750,000 will support the implementation and project management that's needed.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions or comments from legislators? Hearing none or seeing no hands. All in favor as presented? Aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, number 3, Commissioner Brooks.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Jim. Okay, so we have a change for letter A that everyone should have received. Hold on one second while I try and find it again. Okay, because there was a change to the title. Again, this is going to be slightly different than was approved yesterday at Ways and Means or Fiscal Services. But I was told that this needed to be changed. So obviously for the legislative session, we'll have to withdraw one and move forward with the other. But 2A is to request supplemental appropriation to the capital projects budget for Parks and Historic Structures Initiative. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created for various projects under the Parks Historic Structures Initiative at various park locations. And the amount is to be $150,000 to come from bonding. Motion in a second, please.
So move, Menuda.
Second.
Spinelli.
Menuda and Kulisek. Okay. Jim?
Thank you, everyone. So this is our just continued effort to improve the conditions at historic sites in the parks in the county. We currently have 3 projects in the pipeline: Algonquin, Plum Point, and D&H Canal. The biggest one being Algonquin, and that's what these funds will be used for.
Okay. Questions from legislators?
No question, but a comment, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
I just want to thank Mr. Brooks for the initiatives that he's taken on these projects, especially with what's going on, having places in our community that people can go to that are outdoors and get out of the house type of thing with all COVID going on. These things are really essential to our community, and just again want to extend my thanks to his efforts toward this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, and also the historic structures at Algonquin, that project has really started to move forward within the last 2 or 3 months, thanks to the consultant, Mr. Brooks, and Johanna, as well as other legislators like myself and Mr. Kulisek, who are on that committee.
Yeah, the guy's got the fencing up to today around the structures that we met a couple of weeks ago. So
Excellent.
The construction fencing is up. It's secured the site, and I'm still awaiting the proposal from the consultant in Albany. Should have it tomorrow at some time or the next day, and we'll keep going.
Great. Mr. Chairman, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I'd just like to echo what you said, Lee and Joe, for the improvements that Commissioner Brooks has done down there, especially at Algonquin. I know that was yours and Jim Kulisek's concern, and I toured there a few times. I think it's proceeding very nicely, and I would also I didn't say yesterday, but I'd like to commend Commissioner Brooks for the quick turnaround on the Hill Hold roof. That's moving along nicely as well. So, thank you.
Yes, it's quite complicated dealing with all that you have to with structures like this and state and federal and projects. So, Mr. Kulisek, you have your hand.
Yes, I do. Thank you. As we spoke last time we met, Jim, I said when you see some activity, there'll be a lot of interest. I have received 3 phone calls this morning of people frequenting the park, so the fencing going up. So
okay, good.
It's took up half my morning trying to explain to them what was going to happen there. So thank you.
Well, don't take this the wrong way. I'm glad they called you. That worked out well. Thank you.
I gave them your number.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? Seeing no other hands, all in favor as presented? Aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. B is a request to approve and endorse the application for a New York State Hudson River Valley Greenway Trails Grant for $20,000 under the Greenway Conservancy Trail Grant Program. The grant will be used to repave the section of the Heritage Trail from the Chester Railroad Station to Monroe Airplane Park. A 50% match is required, and the cost to the county will be approximately $20,000. Motion and a second for discussion, please.
Paduk will move it.
Paduk, second. I'll second.
Cool. Sir.
Jim?
Okay, so it's pretty self-explanatory. We were constantly working with the grants department and planning, and they were able to help us apply for this grant, and that's what we're doing. And it's a very strong application now, thanks to them. Just an opportunity for us to get a little more bang for our buck, an additional $20,000. We had scheduled $20,000 worth of work, so we'll have the match for that.
Excellent. Questions or comments from legislators? Mr. Kulisek?
Yes, thank you. Just on the dollar figures, it's a $20,000 grant, 50% match.
Yes.
And it's going to cost us $20,000.
Yes, but I have the $20,000 in my budget that I was scheduled to do paving in that area anyway. So I'm not going to be asking for any additional funds. It's already in our budget for paving.
Okay, but my point is a $20,000 grant, a 50% match is only $10,000, huh?
So we have twice the amount then. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
1,000.
It's 50/50. It's 100% match. That's all.
It's
Okay.
a 50, yeah, right, yes, it's a 50-50 match. So whatever, if it's 20, then we have to put up 20.
Right. Any other questions from legislators? Seeing none, all in favor as presented? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Thanks,
Thank
Jim.
you, thank you, everyone.
Next up, Department of Public Works. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you.
A is request supplemental appropriation to the capital projects budget in the amount of $800,000 for fleet replacement. Funding is from the State Consolidated Local Street and Highway Improvement Program, CHIPS, in the amount of $700,000, and $100,000 is from county borrowing. The project has been approved under the 2021 capital plan as project number 44. Motion and a second, please, for discussion.
Sutherland.
Kulisek.
Okay, thank you. Eric?
Thank you. This one went through physical services last night, passed. This is part of our heavy highway equipment under our highway division of the DPW. As mentioned in the resolution there, the $700,000 of the $800,000 is covered under CHIPS funding. Under that $700,000, we have 4 different pieces of equipment: a grade all, a sickle bar mower, and then 2 maintenance dump trucks. And then the other $100,000, we have some other miscellaneous equipment that comes out of bonding. Travis is also here if we have any questions on any particular equipment, but pretty much sums it up.
I guess the only question I would have is the ages of the equipment they're replacing.
Sure.
So for the grade all, the piece of equipment that's being replaced is it's a Badger, which is very similar to a grade all. It's a little bit smaller. It's a 1999, and it's in fair condition, but we're having difficulty finding replacement parts.
Okay.
For the tractor, it's a 1984 International tractor, and again, parts are obsolete on it. It's difficult to find. We're actually going to take that one out of service and use it as a parts machine for our other 1984 tractor. And then the 2 dump trucks, one of them is a 1990 International, and the other is a 1999 Chevrolet.
Okay. Thank you. Questions from committee members? Other legislators, anyone? Okay, seeing none, all in favor as presented? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Karen Hablo. Welcome, Karen.
Hi there. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Okay, so this is something that we have to do every year. A is to request to accept and affirm the Orange County Debt Management Policy. Motion in a second, please.
Benelli, motion.
Second.
Kulisek.
Kulisek, thank you. Karen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. With your permission, I'll just review the changes to the policy for this year instead of going page by page, and then obviously I'll answer any questions the committee may have.
Definitely.
So the first change is on page 5, letter F, under debt limits. And for this bullet point, I've updated the county's current debt contracting margin to 90.69%. That's slightly up from last year, which was 89.95%. And this increase is attributable to 2 factors. The obvious one is that the county's net direct debt has decreased in the last year, which is a great thing. And then the second factor is actually less obvious, but there has been an increase year over year in the county's full valuation, which is really a good thing. And it benefits us here. So with that, I'll move on to the next change, which is on page 11, Appendix A. So every year we update this schedule for the current year. We update, just so everybody's aware of how this is calculated, the oldest tax year rolls off and the current year comes on. And as you can see, the full valuation, as I just stated, has increased considerably in the past 5 years. So that's very good for Orange County. So
Absolutely.
So the calculation of the county's debt limit, which represents 7% of the average 5-year full valuation, is now $2,236,995,337. So over $2 billion. And then if you turn to the next page, on page 12, Appendix B, this schedule shows the net direct debt, which is $220,069,125. And that is net of the sewer debt exclusions and our budgeted debt service for this year. So therefore, our net direct debt has decreased by 6.67 million in the last year. And this represents now 9.31% of our debt limit, or basically how much we can legally issue. So last year it was 10.05% of the debt limit. So our debt limit is getting better. Not that it was bad at all. We have a very modest debt amount.
But as the one goes up, the other goes down, so.
Yeah. Any questions?
Okay. Yes, questions from legislators? All right, seeing none, all in favor as presented? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, so contract B next would be the request to accept and affirm the Orange County investment policy. Motion and a second, please.
Benelli motion.
Benelli and Kulisek. Karen?
Great. So again, Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I'll just review the changes to the policy for 2021 and then answer any questions the committee may have.
Absolutely.
So if you turn to page 4, Exhibit A. So this exhibit has been updated to allow for greater maximums for the 2 banks that have been recently providing the most competitive rates to the county, which are Lakeland Bank and Signature Bank. So, and just a reminder that these allocations are maximum deposit amounts, not current balances, unfortunately. The goal of providing this list is to provide us flexibility so that we can take advantage of competitive rates, which sometimes fluctuate throughout the year and also year to year. So, and then this provides us the opportunity to earn the most interest and earnings on our tax dollars. So whereas, maybe a couple years back, some of these banks were more competitive and we had more money invested with them. As of recently, some of them, they're due to different constraints in their environment and their organizations, they may have less appetite, if you will, for government resources or government funding or government balances. And so therefore the minimums or the maximums have sometimes come down for some banks where they used to be higher. It's all just a factor of the environment that we're in.
Okay.
And that's the only change on the investment.
That's the only change.
That's it.
Okay. Questions from legislators? Hearing none or seeing no hands, all in favor as presented? Aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Last is a sales tax update.
Great. So I provided the monthly sales tax report. And as the report shows, the county's year-to-date 2021 sales tax deficit has been greatly reduced by the April 7th sales tax payment. And that payment came in at 14.05% more than what we budgeted for that pay period. So that's good news. And I've also provided a copy of an email from NYSAC, which explains why many counties, including ours, receive such a larger than expected payment for the April 7th payment. Unfortunately, it is due to a quarterly adjustment or reconciliation of the sales tax revenues done by New York State Department of Taxation and Finance. So therefore, it's an anomaly and not the signaling of the end of the pandemic So again, as I have said in the past, NISAC reiterates that everyone should really look at sales tax receipts over a longer period of time, such as a quarter or longer if you're trying to draw conclusions. So although we present monthly to you our sales tax revenues, certainly I do not advise, nor does NISAC advise, taking one pay period or 1 month for that matter and drawing any kind of a forecasting or conclusion from that amount. So I just wanted to reiterate that. That said, the current year-to-date deficit for the county share of sales tax stands at just over $1.1 million, or 2.57% below budget. So that's good news for us so far in the year. And then we know we have some positives coming up with the warmer weather. Hopefully sales at the Woodbury Commons will gain momentum. And then we have Legoland opening. So that revenue from Legoland, I believe, was not budgeted sales tax revenue for this year. So that's a positive. And so those are some good things on the horizon for the county. And hopefully as things open up and more people get vaccinated, more people are out there spending money. So.
Okay. And again, that adjustment was a quarterly adjustment. It wasn't the state reimbursing us for some of the sales tax monies they've withheld.
No, that's correct.
Okay. Okay. Questions from legislators? Seeing no questions. Thank you very much, Karen.
Thank you.
Okay, next up we have a report from Deb Silsinski. Welcome.
Hello. Believe it or not, we're ready to start preparing the 2022 operating budget. We will be doing the final updates in our department in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and the departments will have their requests beginning May 24th, and it will be due back a month later. So that means it's time to also talk about the tax cap a little bit. So I just looked this afternoon, and the most current inflation growth factor that was issued was 1.18%. And that was for municipalities who have a operating budget year of October through September. So the 2022 inflation factor will be released in the beginning of July. So I'm hopeful with a couple of months to go that will increase some. If you remember, in 2021, the inflation factor was 1.56%. And in 19 and 20, we did get the full 2%. So I will keep you updated on that as it comes along, but I don't expect to have a full definite number until the end of June or the beginning of July.
Well, as always, in New York State, 2% doesn't mean 2%.
Never does. Never does. I'm also in the midst of completing the financial forecast that is required by charter and due to the legislature by May 10th. We're finishing up our first quarter fiscal meetings this week. We review how departments ended 2020 and discuss issues regarding current expenses and revenues, as well as year-end projections. We are still making it clear to departments that we are not out of the woods yet, and we are asking them to be conservative in their purchasing. Capital projects are due back to the budget department on Friday. I will be contacting Chairman Brescia to set up meetings to review the proposed projects. Probably it's usually in June, once a week in June for 3 weeks. So I'll be in contact with you and we can set that up. And lastly, as of April 23rd, we have 328 full and part-time vacant positions with a year-to-date savings of $7.6 million.
Okay. Thank you. Questions from legislators? Mr. Paduch, I figured you were going to raise your hand for that last statistic.
I don't know why, but Deb, is it possible for you to email that information to us? And, I don't see any of that on my
Okay.
The information. I just like to keep that for my records for this upcoming budget. All right.
Sure.
Not a problem. You can actually send that to Jean so she can send it to everyone.
Okay,
Right,
will
that'd
do.
be great.
That would be great. No problem, Mr. Paduch.
Thank you.
Mr. Poor.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Debbie to talk a little bit about how we're running 2 programs this year. Our IT program has changed. One's outdated, one's new. Talk about that a little bit, please, Deb.
Yeah, I did mention that last month, I'm sorry. So we have a new program coming in that we are implementing. It's called Hyperion. It is the preferred source for the replacement of the Oracle PSB module that we currently use. We're working forward on that, but it's just not going to be ready to use completely and to have, to be confident that the numbers will be good. So we're going to run parallel. So like I said, we are preparing our PSB module. That is what the departments will utilize to put in their workforce and their requests for contractual numbers. And then we will ask some of the departments to help us input that into the new program so that we can prepare reports and make sure that they coincide and they are accurate and that type of thing.
Okay. And you said that was Hyperion?
Hyperion,
Hyperion.
Hyperion.
Okay. Any other questions? Mr. Paduk? Mike, you have your hand up again?
I do. Yep. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Was that number one? Were you muted?
Yeah, that was one. Yeah.
Okay.
Just one question for Harry while he's on here too. I know last year I mentioned in regards to the incentive program that we had for retiring. And I asked about maybe keeping that available through this year for employees. Is that still available, Harry, or have you guys decided on it, or will there be an opportunity coming soon?
Actually, we're watching the state legislature. They're considering an early retirement bill right now. It would allow for people 50 years old and 25 years of service to retire. If they pass that, then it would be our option if we wanted to pass it locally for county employees.
Okay, but that wouldn't cost us anything. Actually, I mean, we wouldn't have no incentive to go with it.
No, it would be, I would recommend that we adopt the state incentive, which actually is much more attractive to our employees because it gives them time as well as a cash incentive.
And how soon do you think we might see that?
I believe it has passed one house. It hasn't passed both. I would say by the end of this session, state session.
Great. All right, thank you so much.
And then it would have to come back to you. You'd have to review it and you would approve.
Right. Okay, thank you, Mr. Ford.
Okay. Any other hands? Seeing none. Thank you very much, Deb. See you next month.
Absolutely. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Another
Next
great
up,
job.
Eric, deed sale parcels. Can a motion in a second for discussion, please?
Kulisar.
Sutherland.
Thank you. Eric,
Good afternoon, everyone.
page one.
Page one, just as before we started, there's about a half a dozen or so parcels labeled tabled from last month. Those are parcels where any new parcel from 2020, we did write adjoining owner letters and had tabled these bids until we, to see if we received any feedback from the adjoining property owners before we put them on. So those are all tabled from last month and we're ready to go now. So
Okay.
Page one, Blooming Grove 24-354. It's a seasonal residence on 100 by 100 lot. We have a bid for 20,000 and the back taxes are 49,000 plus. It is a 2020 parcel. And when I looked, it's taxes going back past 2013, so which would lead me to think it was either like a bankruptcy or caught up in legal or something else like that we couldn't put it to auction any sooner. So I'm saying no on that. I'm recommending no on that parcel.
Okay, how's the condition of the house?
It's rough.
Rough, okay. All right, next.
Okay, number two, Blooming Grove 2646. These are all in the Mountain Lodge development area in Blooming Grove. 15 Paradise Trail, 80 by 100 seasonal residence. No well. We have back taxes of 13,466.83. We have a bid of 11,500. I'm recommending we do take that bid. Again, rough condition. And before long, I would probably get a call from the building inspector where they would put us on notice, and I'd have to ask, for a work order through DPW to do whatever was required. So I'm definitely saying we should recommend approval of that bid.
For some of these properties, for the condition and location, how can their taxes be so high?
Again, it's that one also, I'd have to look to see why the taxes, 24,354. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Just bear with me one second. I have the sheet right here, I believe. $26,406. That one tax is going back to 2017.
Okay.
I don't see
Okay.
I don't see a re-levy for demo or anything like that. So it's just a matter of 2017 and on.
Okay.
13,000. So I'm recommending yes on that bid.
Okay. And again, everybody, raise your hands if you have questions. Mr. Paduk.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Lee. I should have got you on the first one. In regards to the first one that you have on here,
Okay.
you have back taxes in the amount of 49,538, and your comments are a minimum bid of 47,500, but that's this year's parcel. Why is that? Are they additional taxes that were added after you made the minimum bid, or why aren't you meeting that with $2,000? I don't understand that one.
Basically, the April taxes just actually rolled in from being delinquent for 2021. So that's what increased it a little bit, as well as, some of these other parcels. Some of them actually, as we go on, and as we've been talking in the past, I'm waiting to get the numbers in for April delinquent taxes before I adjust minimum bids on them. And I plan on doing that with a bunch of properties next month. But again, the back taxes on that property are probably not reasonable, that, we would even be able to get, anywhere close to the 47.5. It's got the seasonal water that basically runs through PVC pipes down the mountain, and it's turned off in the fall. So, that's probably one we wouldn't be adjusting, to be perfectly honest with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wondered if there were additional taxes that were added on, and you'd be so close to that number,
Yeah, middle of April, that's generally when things roll in from April delinquency, 2021 delinquency.
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Okay, number 3A and 3B, Blooming Grove 2835. Another seasonal residence, 93 Sylvan Trail on a 60 by 100 lot. Back taxes are 6838.03. And bid 3A does meet the minimum taxes. So I'm recommending yes to 3A, no to 3B.
Okay. Any questions? Mr. Paduk?
Sorry, Lee, I didn't put my hand down. No question. on
Okay,
that one. Thank
not
you.
a problem. Next.
Okay, number 4, Blooming Grove 2851 and 519.1. One family residence and a parcel of vacant land, contiguous parcels. We have a back taxes of 7850.01. The bid is slightly lower, and I'm recommending we do take that bid.
Okay, questions? Okay, next.
Okay, number 5A and 5B, 29-120.1, one family residence, 35 Hillcrest Trail on a 53 by 100 lot. Back taxes are 17,130.92, and both bids on that property, I recommend we do not accept.
Okay. Questions from legislators? Seeing none. Okay, so for page 1, a motion and a second to accept the commissioner's recommendations to accept 2 and 3A.
Make the motion.
Sutherland?
And number 4, Chairman?
And yes, thank you. 2, 3A, and 4. Second,
Kulisek.
Kulisek. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye. Aye.
Carried. Okay, thank you. Page 2.
Okay, page 2, number 6, Blooming Grove 30-3-25, 376 Mountain Lodge Road. This is a 85 by 100 lot. You may remember this has been around, this is the 4th time. There was a house on the property that burned down. We have it, there, from what the building inspector told me, there's a very good chance the town would approve a variance to build on the property, being that there's a well and a septic there that can be utilized. That's no guarantee, though. This gentleman was bidding small increments, bidding up a little bit. I actually called him on the phone and explained to him that we would need more. And I don't know, basically I didn't note at this time, but of the $53,833, I think there was about a $19,000 demo charge for taking down the house, which actually these days wasn't, you know, I mean, it's a bad hit, but isn't as expensive as some. So really the net tax amount is around $35,000 besides the demo charge. 27.5, I think that's going to be his max, and we will probably lose him. So I am recommending we, you know, basically take that bid. You know, it's another one unfortunate situation with the demo charge and everything like that. But if, you know, we're just going to be stuck with it, in my opinion.
Okay, well, we know we get hammered by those all the time, or commonly we get hammered by those, and the judiciary has no idea about how to, you know, handle it, unfortunately, in my opinion. So that's kind of like a bird in the hand. Mr.
Right.
Menuda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for recognizing me. With regard to this, yeah, this is a common theme with respect to demo charges. We're seeing a lot more of these. I'm just wondering if they're being more taken advantage of since we're seeing so many more, and what we can do to mitigate that from the county.
Nothing. It's been taken up in court, and the court has always ruled in favor or against the counties being able to charge them back. That was just a recent court case just last year.
That's correct. Yep, it just got knocked down again. And I totally agree with you because it's not only demo charges, but some people are trying like planning board, legal fees, alarm fees, all sorts of things are coming out of it. And it's rough for the county.
Yeah, road charges and maintenance, basically the town can add anything they want on it. And even when it's called to their attention and taken to court, the justices have no idea what it costs the counties. And they give the leniency to the municipality to just tack on anything they want.
Thank you for the explanation. I know we've been through this before. It's just frustrating. Thank you.
It is frustrating. I've been fighting it for years.
Yep.
Next.
Okay, number 7, Blooming Grove 32-5-34, 19 Brookside Trail, 207 by 114 vacant lot with improvement. Its back taxes are $29,191.38. We have a bid of $3,000, and I'm recommending we do not accept that bid.
Okay, seems reasonable. Any questions? Next.
Hamptonburg 13-1, 13.1, 3.5 acres rural vacant west of Route 208. This is, I attached a tax map to this one in addition to the aerial. You can see it's an abandoned railroad-owned portion of property next to the railroad. They let it go, and basically there's 10,305.30. I don't see any road access to it. I did not go through all adjoining deeds to see if there's any type of right-of-way to it, but this one, 10,305.30 on the back taxes. We have a bid of 5,100. Not an adjoining owner, but I am recommending on this one we do accept the bid.
Okay. A piece of property like that is, if it was 500 feet away from all the houses, you could have a rifle range.
There you
can have
go.
your own rifle course.
Yep, or outdoor bowling alley or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, questions? Seeing none, next.
Hamptonburg 13-114.22, 27 acres, rural vacant. And this is another one where actually it came up in the 2020 auction, but taxes go way back past 2010 for 130,806.68. And we have a bid of 20,000 that I recommend we do not accept. It does have road frontage.
Yeah, it's perfect to have, access with a lot of private lots.
Right.
Okay, any questions? Okay, next.
Okay, number 10, Montgomery 10916. This is in the village of Maybrook, 401 Tower Avenue, 87 by 50. It's residential vacant land now, but I believe it was a 3-family that was demoed for a huge demo charge and back taxes from 2017. And we have a bid of 1,000 on it, and I'm recommending we do not accept that bid.
Okay. Questions? Okay. Thank you. Next.
Okay, number 11, Montgomery 536, Lake Osiris Road, 79 by 176 lot. Back taxes are 26,139,772, and the taxes go back from 2010. We did get a letter from the bidder to support his bid. I had gone back and forth with an email with him too. This one we originally had, I believe from way back when, there's a bid of 5,000 on it. I increased it to 15. I was hoping that we get him up higher than the $8,001. We do not know for sure. I mean, the lot would take probably a lot of work to get it buildable to do what he wants to do with it, but I'm hoping we can get a little more, although he says it's his final bid. So my recommendation would be no on this one.
Okay. Good. Questions? Okay, seeing no other hands. Okay, so for page 2, can I get a motion and a second to accept the commissioner's recommendations to approve number 6 and number 8?
Benelli motion.
Second? I'll second. Menuda, thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Page 3.
Page 3, number 12, Mount Hope 2142, Town Road 20, 3 acres, rural vacant. Back taxes are 4,107.86. Amount of bid was 1,520. It is a good sized lot, but as we indicated, it does have no road frontage. It isn't an adjoining property owner that bid on it. We are recommending no on that one.
Okay, yeah, definitely landlocked. Questions? Okay, next.
Number 13, New Windsor 55-186. It's basically off of Bull Road, 1.2 acres residential vacant, 1325.40. The back taxes, the bid we received was $1,100. Looking at the map, there appears to be, it's really not a road, more of a like farm lane. I believe like that large parcel you see on your aerial 55-160. It seems to me this is hunting land, and the owners from New Jersey, there had been some improvements on it in the past. That is just my assumption. I'm thinking this person thinks they might be able to work a deal out with a hunter by buying this small parcel where there's no road frontage on, but I would recommend we give them a try and accept the bid of $1,100. So yes on number 13.
Okay. Looks like it could be a fishing pond.
Yeah, that's most of the lot is probably.
Yep. All right, questions? Seeing none, next.
Okay, 14A, B, and C. Newburgh 11-137.1, Route 300, 1.1 acres. The back taxes are $6,335.97. We have bids of 6,000, 5,600, and 5,500. Now, I did some research on the lot. This is from a 1988 subdivision. It was lot number 1 of the subdivision. It does meet the minimum lot requirements for the zoning in that area. I believe the lot's worth a lot more, and I will be adjusting the minimum bid on that one, as well as some of the other ones that I spoke about after seeing all the April taxes that rolled in for the total delinquency. So I would recommend we say no to all 3 of these bids.
Okay. Is this oriented properly? This is west of the thruway at Route 300?
17.118.1. Probably, I'm trying to see what road goes up to the right there.
Yeah.
That
Yes,
should be the
yes, it is
thruway.
west.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all. I was just questioning the orientation just to make
And,
sure.
and pictometry, I believe the aerials should be, like most GIS maps now, should be northerly orientated and whatnot.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. Any questions? All right, next, 15.
15, Newburgh 17118.1, Fostertown Road. It's a rear lot, way back from 1997, 18,432.56 on the back taxes. We have a bid of 3520. I recommend we do not approve that bid, and just for, so I'm mentioning too that, we did send adjoining owner letters out to these property owners surrounding it at least 3 times.
Okay.
So no on that.
No. Okay, so for page 3, motion and a second to accept the commissioner's recommendation to approve number 13 only. Motion, please.
Kulisek.
Kulisek. Sutherland. Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. Okay, page 4.
Page 4, 16A, 16B, Newburgh 95, 143.2, 2.3 acre lot. It kind of goes up to the thruway, but it really doesn't have road access. 3284.12 on back taxes. We have 2 bids at 3,500 on this one. One of them is from an adjoining owner. I might need, I don't know if Matt's on, Matt Nothnagel, I might need some clarification. Ordinarily, if we have 2 bids, we might go out and ask them both for their highest and best bid. But it almost seems to me that it makes sense that an adjoining owner should have the preference over this one. So
Okay.
my recommendation would be to.
Could you, I just had to unmute myself, Eric. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, Matt, on the last page, 16A and 16B, I have the same bid that meets the back taxes, and one of them is from an adjoining owner. It's a lot that has no road frontage, and like I said, ordinarily we might, reach out again and say, the highest and best bid. Here's your chance to give us the highest and best bid. But in this case, I'm almost thinking rather than we'd almost have less of a chance to get this parcel back in 2 years if we basically give it to the adjoining owner, because we're getting someone from Ridgewood, New York, bidding on it, and basically, as is common, we might sell it now, but we'd probably get it back in 2 years.
All right. Well, I think, is it your experience that adjoining owners are more likely to just pay the full amount going forward? Is that been your experience over the years, that if adjoining owners are more likely to not default going forward?
Yeah, that would be mine, and
all right then. I guess that sounds like a reasonable ground to recommend going with the adjoining owner.
And just for the committee's knowledge here, the parcel to the south, the triangular parcel, that actually land hooks across the thruway. And that parcel, so the adjoining owner is 95-141.
What is N and N of Hudson Valley 2? Is that some sort of job creating business or something? Don't we
No,
know?
it's basically, I'm not sure what, I didn't look up the corporation, but lot 95-141 is the owner's name with the same address, 1091 Little Britain Road.
All right. All right.
Okay, so Eric, this piece, this big building kind of in the lower right-hand corner, that's the laundry service across from
Yeesh.
Genie Drive?
95, if you can bear with me for 2 seconds, I can look it up. I didn't have that ready.
And again, on this picture here also from Pictometry, we see a very similar gray line, like with the New Windsor parcel leading to the guy who wants to buy the pond. Is it possible that that is a fire road or a power line, some sort of small power electric line?
It could be, but that I'd need to get it. Be perfectly honest with you, do additional research on that. It's a large parcel, 89-121, 29 or 79 is quite a large parcel.
All right, it just has a very similar gray line if people look at the two, that's all.
Did you want me to take a couple of minutes or a minute and look for that building?
No, you can let me know on that, that's all.
Okay.
All right, any questions? Ms. Benelli?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Eric, this is the first time this property has gone out to bid, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Matt, I have a question for you. If we make a determination that we're giving preference because the bids are exactly the same, what kind of precedent are we setting that now we're incorporating that we're going to say that the bid that's from an adjoining property owner is worth more than the other bid? I think we're opening ourselves up to a very slippery slope.
Well, that's. I mean, ultimately, it's up to the legislature to make such determinations. I mean, I think it's rational under these circumstances to vote for the adjoining property owner who's more likely to keep paying in the future. But that's ultimately the legislature's call. If you think that there's other overriding concerns, you can say no to both and ask Eric. I hope I'm not selling Eric down the river, but the legislature has the discretion to make the call. Well, that's your job to make such judgments, not mine. So.
Well, I appreciate that, and by no means am I questioning the methodology that Eric is using. I understand it. But this is the first time. I think I would personally feel more comfortable if we had at least approached them and asked them for more and see what comes in. So at least we've done that due diligence. But just to approve this right now with the two of them and then picking one with the same exact bid, I'm not comfortable with.
Okay, well, remember a month or two ago, we had a situation where a municipality bid on a particular piece of property, and we withheld movement for 1 month because we were waiting for the adjoining property owners to be contacted to give a bid, and nobody did. So I think there is a precedent already for us trying to give adjoining property owners first chance on things.
But the adjoining property owners in that case were already contacted, and this was going back again.
Mr. Kulisek.
Yes, thank you. That's Walmart that you see there in the lower right-hand corner. And the adjoining property owner is separated by the throughway, so it's not really an adjoining property owner here. I mean, those properties are never going to meet unless you shut down that throughway. So it may be the same owner of the 95-141, but it's definitely not adjoining. So, and I agree with Katie. I think that we should go back out to rebid on these two, at least notify these two.
It's always good to get more money. Mr. Menuda.
So whereas I do agree with both of the fellow legislators, I think that, part of our job is somewhat of an art in evaluating who the bidders are and what the potential use would be. So to that extent, the numbers really don't justify the end result. I think it's more about what's the higher and better use and benefit to that property, so it doesn't go back to the county.
Okay.
And actually,
the buildings on the left-hand side are obviously Stewart Airport, the base.
And actually, the really another reason why I was recommending a joining order, because the parcel really has no road frontage. It is that, as I said, the land hook, I don't know what they use that little triangular parcel, if at all, across the thruway, but that little piece of land, and it shows on the tax map, it does land hook into 95-141. So it is an adjoining landowner of it, and it adjoins to their excess or surplus property on the other side of the thruway. And as I said, just because it has no frontage and the other factors, that's why if it had a road frontage and this and that, and one was adjoining, I think I'd be more. But I mean, I would whatever it's really as Matt said, it's at your pleasure what you decide to do. I'll go with you if that's what you want to do.
Okay. So we'll do that one separately. Next.
Number 17, Wallkill 16159, Decker Roads 1.2 acres. Back taxes are 3226.26. We have a bid of 3,000. That lot does have road frontage, but if you look at the aerial, it's pretty much a swamp, most of it, along the road. So I'm recommending yes on that one.
Okay, questions from legislators? Next.
Okay, number 18, Warwick 8128.1 and 821, a 1 acre and an 85 by 210 acre lot, muck lands and residential vacant land. The back taxes are 5146.44. This bidder, as you can see in the letter that he attached, as well as the letter from the surveyor, he bought the property in the front, a house for I believe it was $180,000. In hindsight, these lots really should have been included as a package with the house. They're over the house lot was a village lot in the village of Florida. These are town lots in the town of Warwick, and they should have been packaged. I guess because he's trying to get title insurance on the property, he's having a problem. We did sell him a house. I would think that it'd be worth it to accept his bid of $2,000 on this package of 8128.1 and 821.
Okay. Questions from legislators? Okay, next.
19 Wayweyanda 21-142.1 Pierce Circle. It's another rear lot, 0.63 acres. Apparently, the Wayweyanda delinquent April delinquencies hadn't rolled in yet, so that 34494 does not include the 2021 amount. We do have a bid of $360, and I don't know if this is a person in the area. I'm not sure if it's an adjoining property owner, but I do recommend we do accept this bid.
Okay. Questions from committee members? Okay, so seeing no hands, I'm going to use my prerogative as chairman to remove the town of Newburgh parcels from consideration. I think it's a good idea to try and get more money whenever we possibly can to make up for other deficiencies. So a motion in a second, please, for page 4 to accept the commissioner's recommendations for 17, 18, and 19.
Benelli motion.
Benelli, Sutherland, thank you, ladies. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Thank you very much. Thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The desk is clear. Motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
Make the motion.
Second, Menuda.
All in
Second.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Carried. Thank you very much, everyone. For those who are attending Association of Towns tonight, drive careful. See you there.
Okay. Have a good one.
Good night,
Take care.
everybody.
Good night.